Hello, this is the Watchdog. Welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pagani Design PD1706 GMT watch. Start with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Chronos L6029 GMT watch. I just reviewed this watch, but this is a member's choice watch. So you can only watch this review after a week because members get a week-long exclusive of the review. So if you just can't wait, go ahead and become a member. And Greg was wearing my Spectrum Stone Cubic, which is homage to protect Cubitus. Grogu said Han Solo asked Master Skywalker if he could borrow his X-Wing since the Falcon was under repair. He asked what happened to the Falcon. He said he had Chewbacca blow into the breathalyzer the princess installed, and Chewbacca's breath was so bad it exploded. Alright, let's open the box. Comes in this typical Pagani Design box. What it doesn't come with is, and it has been a while that Pagani Design has included a bonus NATO strap, and they just haven't been doing that lately. So, plus they changed the color of the cleaning cloth. It's tan now instead of blue, and it's not near as thick. So it's still a nice cleaning cloth, but just not as nice. But here's the watch. Here, let me make the hands a little bit more pleasant. There we go. But there it is, an homage to the Tudor GMT, Black Bay, and it's a nice looking watch. I've had more Pagani Design watches on my channel than any other, and this is my second PD1706 as I reviewed the Pepsi version 3 years ago. The AliExpress ad said it was selling the 2024 version, so I figured I'd give the watch another look, as many things have changed in this channel in the last 3 years. I rewatched my original review, and in all honesty, I really don't see a difference between the two, but now that I have more subscribers and a better camera, I might as well review it anyway. This watch comes with the Pearl GG5833, which was about the only good choice for automatic GMT watches in this price range until the Seiko NH34 came out. This would explain this watch's now $65 price tag. This watch comes in 3 different colorways. This time I chose the Coke colorway. Tudor has recently released a Black Bay 58 GMT with a Coke bezel, but that Tudor has gilt hands and markers. There's also the Pepsi bezel, which in my last review I complained that the blue looked more like the blue of a Rolex GMT Master and not the more navy blue of the Tudor. In the ad, Pagani Design claims the blue is now more like the Tudor. I guess I should have bought the Pepsi again, but that ship has sailed. There's also a Batman version. The watch is 40 millimeters at the bezel, but the bezel slightly overhangs the case, so the case is probably 39. It's 47.7 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. It's always nice to have inverted end links. It just lets a big watch wear smaller. It's 13.9 millimeters thick, including this dome box crystal. So it's fairly thick. Has a 20 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to 18 at the clasp, and weighs 156 grams on the supplied bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is aluminum, just like the Tudor. And the action, though, is kind of loose. Wish it was a little bit stiffer, because this is going to get knocked out of place fairly easy. And this is a 90 click, and which is fine. I used to complain a lot about 90 clicks, but it's going to be close enough for what you need. And of course, being a GMT watch, it should have a bidirectional bezel, but it doesn't, because once again, these GMT watches and watches in this price range share parts with their diver counterparts, and a diver has to have a unidirectional bezel. And this bezel is fully loomed, which you'll see later in the loom test. Then we have the dial. The dial is a flat black. It says Pagani Design, and with the logo printed on top. And then on the bottom it says GMT automatic water resistant, 200 meters, 660 feet. I really wish, if you're going to put the depth rating, you don't need to say water resistant. That just adds an unnecessary line of text. Depth rating should imply water resistant. Then we have the indices. We have a triangle at the 12, batons at the 6 and the 9, dots everywhere else. Then we have the minute marker there. And then we have the hands. We have snowflake hour hand, fence post minute hand, snowflake second hand. And then we have the GMT hand. I really don't like this GMT hand. It looks out of place. If you look at a real Tudor GMT, they have a snowflake GMT hand that's not so big and bold and obtrusive. Then we have a date at the 3, and I got the minute hand in the way, so you can't see it. As you can see, there's the date, and there's no cyclops, and there's no border or anything. And then we have the sign, screw down crown, and this is Tudor style with no crown guard, but all the Black Bay Pagani Design homages always have this red thing on the crown, and I don't know why. I guess it looks fine on this Coke bezel because the Coke has red, but if this was a Batman, it would really look out of place. Normally, the only time you would color a crown is just to let you tell if it's screwed in or not, but since this doesn't have crown guards or anything, this doesn't really help. So, not sure why they do that. Then we have the crystal's Stone Box Sapphire. It does a pretty good job of not reflecting. I don't know if it has AR coating or not, but I think it looks good. And then we have the case. Case is brushed on the side. We have a polished chamfered edge brushed up top. And it's a fairly thin case considering how big the watch is. A lot of the watch thickness comes from the bezel and the crystal. So I like the case. Then we have the case back. Case back is a screw down. It's not a display. And it says water resistant, stainless steel, Pagani Design Sport PD1706. Underneath the case back is the DG5833 automatic movement. I guess I don't know the jewel count, but this is this used to be the go-to automatic GMT movement for watches in this price range until the NH34 came out. But there's still quite a few watches that still use it because it keeps the price down. And one big difference between this and the NH34 is how the GMT hand works. When you go to adjust the GMT hand, it's smooth. It doesn't jump. So when you go to set it, you have to be very precise when you set it. And if you go too far, you have to go all the way around again. So it can be kind of annoying to set compared to the NH34. But one nice thing about it, though, is you don't have to worry about alignment issues. Since it doesn't jump, it'll never be out of alignment because you can always set it to be perfectly where you want it. And of course, if you turn the crown in the other direction, it's quick set for the date. So last time I reviewed this watch, I didn't have a time grapher, so I used a time grapher app on my phone. So this time I have a real time grapher, so let's go ahead and put it on there and see how it's doing. Here it is on the time grapher, and as you can see, this watch is running seriously slow. 33 seconds slow, so that's not good. So this watch needs to be regulated. I tried to look up the lift angle of a DG5833 and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I left it at the 52-degree default. And so the amplitude looks healthy, but I don't know what the lift angle is supposed to be. So that's probably not a correct reading. So yeah, not very well. The bracelet is a 5-link And by that I mean we have these little links on the end, and they are separate. And as you can see, they're finished differently than these other links, so you can see a pretty good contrast. Then we have solid inverted end links. It's always nice to have inverted end links. And then we have rivets, and I'm pretty sure that these are just decorative, but it doesn't matter. And then we have screw pin adjusters, not push pins. I prefer push pins because I never have push pins come out of me, and every once in a while I have screw pins come out of me. But I try to make sure that these were plenty tight. And then we have the clasp. The clasp is milled. And it only has 3 holes of micro adjust though, and they're pretty close together. And the reason is because of this diver's extension. This diver's extension limits the room for micro adjust. If it wasn't for this diver's extension, they could have put 2 or 3 more notches here, but they can't because of the diver's extension. And the clasp is signed. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. It wears nice. Yeah, it's a little chunky, but it sits nice and flat on the wrist. And I removed 3 links to fit on my wrist, and then also moved it in 1 notch of micro adjust. So you can wear this if you have a huge wrist. Plus you also have the diver's extension, so you can even let it out even more if you have to. But yeah, that looks really nice. It's kind of heavy at 156 grams, but it's fairly even, balanced. The bracelet's thick, so the doesn't feel top heavy. Here we are in the loom room. When I tested this watch 3 years ago, I had a Motorola with a fairly poor low light camera. Now I have a Pixel 8, which does a much better on loom test and a more accurate depiction of what to expect wearing it at night. As we speed up the time, we see a pretty good glow of C3 with a fully loomed bezel, and the GMT hand is loomed also. The bezel numeral loom is fading a bit faster than the bezel 12 o'clock triangle, which matches the 12 o'clock dial triangle. Unfortunately, the minute hand is as weak as the bezel numbers. If the minute hand was as strong as the hour hand, I would rate this loom good, but instead I have to rate this loom so-so. But still better than most Pagani Design watches. What I like about this watch, it looks and wears nice, it's solidly built, and the bracelet is plenty long and will fit larger wrists. What are my gripes and groans? Unnecessary diver's extension limits the number of micro adjust slots you can have in the clasp. The minute hand loom is poor and brings down the rest of the decent loom. Isn't it time to upgrade to the NH34? And the GMT hand is not a snowflake. It's this really big thing, and I just don't like it. And this DG5833 movement was running really, really slow. 32, 33 seconds. Do I recommend this watch? Sure, this is a great looking watch that is solidly built. Yes, it doesn't have the NH34, but you are saving a good $40 because of it. Well, thank you for watching my second review of the Pagani Design PD1706, and I'll be back with another review. I've unboxed so many watches recently, I gotta start catching up on reviews. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a tiny commission, but those tiny commissions do add up, and it lets me get a little bit nicer watches on this channel. And I'd like to thank my Members Choice members. Here they are, the few, the proud. There's only 5 of you, but hopefully the list will grow. And the latest Members Choice review is out. So if you're a member, if you haven't seen it, go see it. And if you aren't a member, in a week, you'll be able to see it. Bye.